Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Project Ozone LIte. This is MegaTrain, and we are back on our Project Ozone Skyblock Island. Looks a lot pretty similar to how we left it. The major difference is we've got a whole lot of cobblestone that we're going to make use of today. And we're going to use it to build out our platform and lay out some different areas. We'll have a work area, we'll have a sieving area, storage area, some stuff like that. But I don't really like to use just the normal straight cobblestone. But this pack has a real nice trick. We can make a chisel. Now there are two different chisels from two different mod packs that are quite a bit different, that do totally different things. The one you want is this one here. This allows me to basically change the style of my cobblestone. So I can click this up there, and I can, just totally change how these things look. So if I make this embossed, it changes the look of the cobblestone, and I can build this platform out. So I'm going to use this to, and my builder's wand to build my platform out. I'll probably actually dig up this wood and replace that with cobblestone as well. I wouldn't want it to burn or something like that. So let me go ahead and build out this platform, and we'll talk about some of the things we'll be accomplishing today. Okay, we have expanded our platform quite a bit using our chiseled cobblestone, and I've got different areas here that we're going to be building out and working with. Some sieving area over here, tree area there. Still a few things in the middle that we need to take care of. This is full of lava at this point. This is full of cobblestone. I'll show you a cool trick to move that without moving all the pieces of cobblestone one at a time. So let's get back into our quest lines to see what we missed and where we want to go from here. So the barrels and clay achievement here, we made a couple of clay, but we didn't make 4, so we'll need to go back and make a few more clay. Also underneath, underneath our wood age achievement, we have 1 block storage to make a basic drawer, and we'll be starting, be making some tinker's materials as well. So what is the big deal with the drawers? What are they and how do they work? Well, let's go ahead and make a couple of them. Actually, let's not. We have a problem. You press the F7 function key, it will show you everywhere on your map that monsters can spawn, which is a bad thing. So let us sleep. And we're going to make build out some, I think I've got some torches here. There we go. We'll just use these torches to lay down, cover our map, figure out where we need to place them. So kind of a handy trick. Even if it's during the daytime, the F7 will still show this grid, and you can use this to help place your torches. All right, rather than just talking about some of the different storage options in Project Ozone LIte, I decided to jump into a creative world and show them to you, since I can't craft all these yet on my world. So there are a lot of modded chests in this pack. And they basically differ by size. So obviously you've got your normal wood chest, and that has 27 slots. So basically all of these are going to be 9 items wide with different heights. So a normal chest is a 9x3. A copper chest is 9x5. So a total of 2,800 items. Iron chest is usually the first step up that people do, since it's a 9x6. I don't know that a lot of people use the bronze and the silver chest. That's why they're back a row, because you can go straight from a wooden to an iron to a gold chest. So a gold is a 9x9, so 81 stacks or 5,100 items. And diamond, this is really the best single chest, is actually 9 down and 12 across. So 6,900 total items if every stack was full. So we're going to be using these for a lot of just our normal chests. You can stack them side by side, even the same types, unlike normal chest that'll make a double. There are some special chests in the set that we won't get into a lot of detail. The obsidian chest and the crystal chest. Basically, the crystal one you can see in the top of, and the obsidian chest is impervious to explosions. So those are about the only differences there. You have the tiny chest, of course. You put a single item in. And way later in the game, you can do some crazy stuff with the draconium chest. So those are sort of the main chests in the mod pack. Way later in the game, we'll be getting into EMC storage and stuff like that, but right up front, we're going to be using a lot of these different ones. One cool trick that you can do, if you are able to get a Silk Touch pick, you can actually pick up a chest with all its items. So it doesn't really tell you what's in there, but you can put it back down, and it still has its ingredients. One more cool way to do that is with a cardboard box. Cardboard boxes are very easy to make. They just use sawdust, and sawdust you get just by smashing wood. And if I put my cardboard box around a chest, I can just break it with my hand, haul it around somewhere else. And when I set it back down, if I shift right click, I get the box back, and everything is still in the chest. So those are some handy tools, but let me show you why people tend to use drawers a lot. So these are basic drawers, and you can make them in several different configurations. There's a 1x1 or just a single storage block. You can do a 1x2 or a 2x2. And basically, you don't see them just in 1s and 2s. You see people make whole walls of them, and the easy... it just makes them easy to see what's inside them and get access to them. If you want to remove items, you just left click or shift left click. You can get a whole stack. You can right click to put a single stack in, or if you double right click, it'll put all of the items in that you have in your inventory. But let me show you the storage sizes here. This is a quantify key that we'll be able to make a little bit later in the game. Probably not right away. But if I right click, you can see how much I'm actually storing here. So a single basic drawer holds 32 stacks of items. So if that's a fully stackable item, that's over 2,000 items. For a 2x1, that's 16 stacks or 1,024 items. And for a 2x2, it's 8 stacks of items or over 500 per item. So you can put a lot of stuff in here. You can make a whole wall of these. It's really, really easy to pull these in and out and store them back in. One thing that we will be able to do as we continue to grow our inventory is put a lot more stuff in them. So this is the maximum number of items you can put into a single basic drawer, 133,000. That is, let me shift right click, because I have 5 upgrades in it. So there's different levels of upgrades. This particular one, the Emerald upgrade, is a 13 times the base level. So 13 times 2,000 times 5 gives me 133,000 items. So really, really expandable. We can do a lot with this later in the game. One more type of drawer that we're going to be making a lot of use of, this is one of my favorites, is compacting drawers. So instead of just putting diamonds in a chest or blocks of diamonds, if I put basically a single diamond in here, I can then pull out whatever form I need to use. I can pull out the nuggets, the diamonds, or the blocks and put them back in as well. So there's some convenience here in pulling out whichever item I need, but there's also a storage advantage. If I were to store wheat in a normal drawer, as we can see here, the maximum I could do that would be 2,048 without upgrades. But if I throw this in a compacting drawer, I can get 9,000 items or 1,000 of the top level compressed item. So the 1,000 item limit is on the topmost item, which means you can get a whole lot of the bottommost item on there. So I'm a big fan of compacting drawers. We're going to be using them for all sorts of things. One thing that's handy is that you can actually craft things back and forth that you can't normally do in the game. In vanilla, there's no way to uncraft a quartz block to get your quartz back. But with compacting drawers, I can do exactly that. So that's going to come in handy for glowstone, for quartz, for lots of other things. Shoot, I can throw rotten flesh into a compacting drawer, and it'll store a whole lot more than if I was just putting that rotten flesh directly into a normal drawer. So some other places you may not expect, loot bags are compressible, and you get the different levels. Both dirt and cobblestone is compressible, and we'll be making use of that as well. So we're going to be making a whole raft of drawers and storing some different material in there. Let's get back to our island and make it happen. All right, the first and most obvious use of storage drawers is as a better way to hold my cobblestone. So that's going to store as much as I can cram into it. And if we need that to be bigger, we can just add some storage upgrades. In addition, I'm going to set down some additional storage drawers here that we'll use for the our other byproducts, our remaining items. So if we want to smash a bunch of cobblestone, we can do that here. I don't think that I mentioned this earlier, but this is another one of the advantages of the fact that we've chiseled these blocks, chiseled this cobblestone, so that when I break these, it's not going to break the underlying structure of my platform. So that is definitely handy. All right, there we go. We'll use our hammer. All right, so we got a bunch of stuff that we're just about ready to start sieving here, but we're going to need to expand our sieving station quite a bit to make it even more practical. So in this particular mod pack, we can actually use sort of a combined sieve to do it all at once. Unfortunately, though, we only have a single flint stiffened mesh and a bunch of string mesh. But one thing that we can do in this mod pack, I think we mentioned this earlier, but we can actually make gravel this way. Sorry, we can use gravel to make flint this way and get some additional flint mesh. The other half of what we want to do really is we want to get this all the way up to iron mesh. If I come and look at what we can do with iron stiffened mesh, going into the sieve tab, this is where it really starts to get interesting. So a lot of the same stuff from sand, but from dust. On an iron stiffened mesh, we can get redstone, we can get glowstone, we can get blaze powder. Gravel on iron stiffened mesh, we can get diamond, we can get lapis, we can get emerald. So the drop chances are pretty low for that, but if you sieve a couple of stacks, you're sure to get at least a few. So this is going to be a good early source of at least some of these materials. And so we want to get as many of these up to iron as quickly as we can. So we're going to start with our flint stiffened mesh. We're going to grab some gravel. There we go. And we're going to start sieving. All right, we smelted up a bunch of iron. And we're going to make as many of these iron meshes as we can. There we go. We got an actual achievement for that. And if we put the iron meshes in here, and use our gravel. If we're lucky, maybe we'll get a diamond or two. Not yet. So the chance of diamond and emeralds is pretty low, even with iron mesh. It goes up a little bit if we upgrade to diamond mesh, which will take us a while to get to. But that is the next step. There we go, 1 diamond. And I actually needed that because my builder's wand broke. There we go. So one trick we're going to use to speed up our process here is that we're not going to continue smashing plain old boring cobblestone. We're going to be smashing compressed cobblestone. So basically 9 cobblestone into a single compressed cobblestone block. If I use that, I can smash that into a compressed gravel. So that's going to save us some time. It's also something we're going to be able to automate later on, and will definitely come in handy. And basically this is going to expand back out to 3 full stacks of dust. There we go. It's going to give us redstone all that much faster. Okay, 2 achievements that we haven't yet picked up. The basic storage drawer challenge here and the iron mesh. So we'll claim those. Before we actually put all these into a different storage mechanism, like my drawers over here, I wanted to show you basically what you can get. So everything in the top 2 lines will come from any ingredient. So gravel, sand, and dust will give all of these items. They'll give a lot more iron and gold than everything else. But it'll give you copper, osmium, tin, silver, nickel, aluminum. Oop, I missed lead. Nickel, aluminum, platinum, and aluminum. So the ones that are specific to each are underneath here. So for gravel, you'll get flint, you'll get coal. On the higher levels, you'll get lapis and diamond and emerald. Sand will give you yellorium, which really is only necessary late game, but it is definitely a useful resource. We can get cocoa beans, Certus quartz, and rarely a charged Certus quartz crystal. Dust, though, gives us lots of useful stuff. So bone meal, blaze powder, gunpowder, redstone is definitely going to be useful here. Glowstone, nether quartz dust, Certus quartz dust, and skystone dust. But already my chest is kind of filling up, and annoyingly, and if I just throw more stuff in there, it's going to be all disorganized. So this is where it's really going to pay to start using a different storage mechanism. Okay, here is our compacting drawer array. As much as we had redstone to build it so far, I basically used up all my redstone except for 1 to build this this grid here. And the first way we're going to use these is by actually putting our ore pieces in it. And what's great about that is basically that allows us to see either to put in the iron ore pieces and pull out the iron ore chunks that are ready for us to smelt. So we can do that with gold, our copper, all our other materials here. And that is going to save us a lot of time and trouble, manually crafting those every time. And we'll do that for all of our different ore types. So, as I said, a lot of these can be put in compressed or compacting drawers. I just don't have the redstone for it right now, but as soon as I do, we'll fill this grid out into all the different things that we can store. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and put a few of these other types into just my 2x2 storage drawers. And we'll come along and pull these out when we need them. Let's put redstone and coal in there. How about that? Flint, we'll find a drawer for. Probably need to make a couple more of these drawers. So we'll fill those out. I think between now and the next episode, I'll go ahead and do a bunch more sieving, get a bunch more redstone, make a bunch more compacting drawers. Right now, they're not all that convenient to use. I have to actually store items one at a time on each one. But next time I'll show you how to make what's called a drawer controller. That controller is going to allow us to basically have one point of input and output for all the drawers in this array. Before we go, a couple more things I want to show you here. I did promise you that we would be making some different food sources. By the way, you can use your scroll wheel on your mouse to scroll through these as well. Had someone in the comments point that out to me. Also, if you want to use, you can also just right-click, and it's the same as the letter U for use. But what we weren't able to do before is get a cutting board, and we have iron now, so we can definitely do that here. And now I can make. Oops! I just need lots of fruit salad. It doesn't use up anything on the cutting board, so that's just going to be a much more nutritious food source. The other thing that we'll do before the end of the episode here, I normally will open my my loot chest at the end of the episode. I actually did that when I thought I was recording, but that clip did not get properly recorded, so I'll show you what I got. But I did save, I did convert all these storage drawers to compacting drawers. There is one trick with sand. If you just put sand in a drawer normally, it's going to try to give you sandstone instead of the sand and compressed sand and double compressed sand that I got here. So the way to fool it is you actually have to manually craft a compressed sand and put that in instead, and it will give you this arrangement, which is the one that we want. I did it with clay as well. You can get clay and clay blocks without having to set the blocks down and break them manually, so you can pull them out in whatever form you like. That did allow me to get a few of my additional quests. I picked up the barrels and clay quest. I picked up the 1-block storage quest. I did also upgrade the cobble generator to generation 2, which just involves putting iron around it, and that just increases the speed by which it puts the cobblestone into the drawer above it. So, the loot chest that I opened gave me a couple of interesting things. It gave me 64K ME storage component, so that's definitely going to be useful down the road. The slime charm may or may not be useful. We'll see. So a couple of blocks that might be useful later on as well. And a couple of cosmetic modifications. So I can put on some goggles and a bow tie. Heck, I can put on some bunny ears if I want. I think I'll stick with the goggles and bow tie. But thank you for joining us. I think next time, between this and the next episode, I'll completely build out my my storage array. I'll show you how to make a drawer controller, and maybe we'll get into doing some tinkering or some other stuff. But thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.